heard the news. We got a brand new show that's breaking all the rules. Started out from VA and now we on the move. From local to global, cause we got something to prove. We came from the bottom, now we at the tippy top. To hold it down for our people, cause we all we got. It's a cold, cold world, but we keeping it hot. With Miss Pipe on the mic next to Sheeta Rock. All work over here, still we having fun. And we say it like it is. Ain't no holding our tongue. Go get us on the team and we getting it done. Shout out to Travell, and you number one. We started with a dream that turned into a vision. To educating new generations is our mission. Ears to the streets, yeah, we steady politicking. If it ain't about the change, mind your business. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Oh shit. Okay, Barry White. Welcome y'all to another episode of Wait Again Minute Podcast. Today is Thursday, September the 9th, 2021. Y'all, like we in the second Thursday of the month?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Damn, already. Before you know it, it's gonna be Christmas for y'all.
Yes.
I ain't ready.
You ain't ready?
My kids grown.
Oh shit, you good.
They grown.
You good. So I gotta let you guys know that the ladies from Wait Again Men aren't here tonight. However, we do have one that we don't normally see who's always behind the scenes, and that's Ida.
Hey, y'all.
So Ida is like one of our voice of reason too, behind the scenes as well. But we have a special guest, and it's none other than Kelsey. So Kelsey, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Kelsey?
Ooh, she mouthy. That's the first off. She real mouthy.
Oh shit, we're gonna have fun with this one, y'all.
But I mean, transparent, very friendly. Got a good head on my shoulder. I really feel like a lot of people don't understand me. And I don't, and that's my fault because I don't let people see the side that they need to see. Most people, they're going to be like, oh, she always fussing or she always, going off. But that's when it's got to that level. It's a whole different side of me that a lot of people don't know.
And why? But why is that though?
I don't know.
So you choose to show them that side of you versus
I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
I'm working on it.
But see, that's the reason you're here tonight, because people get to see the other side of you.
Right.
And I'm actually excited for what's about to happen, even though y'all I really don't know what's about to happen, because as of always, we don't, sit down and rehearse our topics or, go back and forth. You say this, you say that. Right. No, we don't do that. Basically, whatever the topic is, we try to research it and then we go from there off the top of the dome.
Right.
Right.
So where did Kelsey grow up? Who is Kelsey? I know you got the mouth and all that, but who else is Kelsey?
I grew up in Massachusetts. I'm a descendant. My parents are immigrants. So my parents are actually from Honduras. So I grew up in Massachusetts. We ended up in Virginia because my dad was a merchant seaman and there's a SIU base in Virginia. So it was either move to New York or to move to Texas. Texas was too damn hot. So I said, Dad, that's not the move. So we ended up in VA and been here ever since.
I don't know why I thought you were from here until the other day when I spoke with you.
Yeah, a lot of people
I've known you for a long time.
Because I went to my last 2 years of high school in Nazareth.
Oh, where?
NHRS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, class of 1996.
Wow. We came out to you.
Yes.
Daggone right.
Yes, we came out together.
I'm getting old. I shouldn't even say that, Lord Jesus. But anyway, so our topic tonight, I think it's going to be very interesting, and it basically talks about loving people through their addiction.
Right.
And I know when we dropped the post about different people dropping the topics that they want to hear Wait Again Minute speak of, and you replied, and I thought it was very interesting because we don't normally get to hear this side from someone who has dealt with several individuals who've had addiction.
Right.
So bring us up on one of your first stories of dealing with someone who's had an addiction, what their addiction was.
Well, one of the first ones, I can't say it was the first one I was privy to the information. It was a guy that I dated, and he was a good person. Worked Monday through Friday. Did what he needed to do as a man, paid bills, did everything. But it was on the weekends he would disappear.
Right.
And most of us was thinking, oh, he cheating, he's with a woman, he's doing this, he's doing that. And I was just like floored, like, what's going on? Until one day he just sat down and he had a conversation and he was like, look, I just need to tell you something. And I was like, what is that? He was like, I have a substance abuse problem. He never really said what the drug was.
Okay.
But he just said I had a substance abuse problem. He was like, and you too good of a person for me to take you down that road. So he was like, I want to end what we got. And then, I'm like torn in between, okay, I love this guy or I feel some type of way about this guy. And then, the stigmatism, oh, he do drugs. So I'm like, at the end of the day, I was like, well, cool. That's deal breaker for me.
It didn't make you feel no type of way that he basically chose, even though he, it seemed like he kind of respected you and where you relationship was and who you were as a person. But yet, and still, he chose the drugs over you. So how did that make you feel?
I don't think I ever looked at it that, because see, in my theory, using drugs is a choice.
Yes. Correct.
That's the choice. It's a choice to use drugs, but being an addict is not. To start using drugs is a choice, but being an addict is not. Once you're an addict, that's a higher power. That's something that you can't control. So, walking away from being an addict is tough, because a lot of people don't know why or what it is you have done or what it is that allowed you to have that habit. And when we talk about a habit, we can talk about it being substance abuse, alcohol, cheating. They're using that to cope for something that they feel. It's a coping mechanism.
That's right.
Some are better than the others. Like some of them, are worse than the others, but it's all a coping mechanism that they're using. So in a way, it made me feel kind of sad that they were at that point that they would choose that. Right. But it never made me feel like, oh, wow, he's choosing that over me. It just made me feel sad that they was at that point in their life that they felt like that was the better option.
Right. Now, with that first guy, was it a thing of, so he didn't give you really too much information. He just said, hey, I got this going on and I just choose at this point in my life not to include you in it. And that was it. Right. Okay, so was that your last person that you dealt with that had an addiction?
Oh, no.
So do you have I gotta ask you this.
Do I have a type?
Do you do you have a soft heart for them, for those who have an addiction?
I think I got a soft heart for anybody who's dealing with an issue. You get what I'm saying? Anybody who, I guess I look at it like anybody who doesn't see their worth. Right. Or anybody who doesn't see the good in them. Like my friend now always says, you see the good in anybody. So I'm always looking for somebody who doesn't feel, I don't know. It's like, I guess it's the mother nature to coddle and to love somebody and to support somebody and to be there for somebody. So I do find myself, attracted, even with friends and family, with somebody that has a need for something. And I guess that's just me.
That's me too.
Yeah, I'm that type of person. I'm always the one to motivate somebody or listen to somebody when they're going through something, get them a word of advice, encourage them. So I feel like I gravitate towards people who have those sort of issues.
Wow, you had to be a special kind of person, like to think that you could love somebody through their addiction. Like I've never personally. Matter of fact, let's pause for a second because this is getting real good. But I want to drop this commercial in here because one of our sponsors tonight is none other than the hottest boutique in the 757. I'm gonna let you know.
The hottest boutique in the 757 now has a storefront location. Blase Boutique, 325 High Street, Portsmouth, VA. Those doors are open Wednesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday are by appointment only. If you can't make it into the store, hit them up, www.blazayatl.com. Mention this ad and receive your 10% off today.
And of course, I gotta let you know in case you need to go there. Since you are our special guest tonight, make sure you go and mention. Wait again a minute and mention this ad today and get your 10% off.
Gotcha.
10% off. And now I'm gonna find out if you've been there. Not I'm telling you, I'm coming for you.
I heard that.
But now,
and to piggyback on something you just said, when you said about loving somebody, see, I guess in the way I was raised, a lot of people use that word loosely,
right?
As far as love. for you to adequately say that you love somebody, you have to see them in every form of capacity in their life. You have to see them happy.
Yes.
You have to see them sad. You have to see them depressed. You have to see them angry. You can't, and you have to decide whether you can deal with that or you can trust the process.
That's right.
So a lot of people say, oh, I love this person, I love that person, but the minute it gets bad, they out the door.
That's right.
Or the minute something happens that breaks them, they out the door. Love conquers all. The Bible tells you that. Love conquers a multitude of sins. So I think that's where a lot of people look at that love word as, oh, it's only love when it's the good times, but it's love when it's rock bottom, when it's no hope left. That's where love come in, and I think that's where a lot of people miss the points, and a lot of people just don't look past that. You got to be able to say that I love you. I got to take you at all capacity.
Got that right.
So basically, what you're saying, you got to take them at their lowest and at their highest,
at their highest,
all the way around.
At their highest, you got to be able to trust the process.
I don't know. Like, how do you feel? I need you to chime in here and let me know how you feel about it.
Well, basically, I can relate to Kelsey, because I did deal with someone in the same magnitude. Not only that, I seen from his highest all the way down to rock bottom to his lowest. And a lot of times, people have questioned me and asked me, well, what made you stay or what made you continue? Well, because to see a person from their highest and know what they're capable of and what their potential is, that's what you loving. You're not loving the addiction. You're loving the person that's outside of the addiction. Yes, true. Yes, they're dealing in, their lower self, at that point of time, but if you say you love them, you can't walk out of them because they're dealing with something. That's just like, if you dealing with, depression or whatever the case may be, you just don't walk out on people because they're dealing with something,
right?
And I loved him for him,
right.
So,
and God's going to allow you to see in somebody who he wants you to see.
That's right.
At the end of the day.
That's right.
The outside may not see the individual that God allows you to see. If that's truly where you're supposed to be at, he's going to give you something in that person to pull hope from.
Yes.
And have faith for. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So everyone else may look at him like, is this, that, and the third, or may look at it like they don't have potential. But you can't tell me what God allowed me to see in this female or in this man.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? So
wait a damn minute.
And a lot of people these days are so judgmental.
Yes.
Somebody had to be the Peters in the Bible. Somebody had to be the whoremongers in the Bible.
God.
Somebody had to be all these people in the Bible. At the end of the day, we couldn't all be the saints.
That's right.
So when you look at people, you can't look at what they go through and what they doing and what they got going on, because there's a diamond in the rough.
That's right.
All these people can be changed.
That's right.
But do you have the capacity to do it? Do you have the stronghold to do it? Do you have the faith to do it?
Yes.
Are you going to be the one that's bold enough to say, I don't care what this person goes through. This is what I'm rocking with, and this is what I'm rolling, and I got faith that God's going to save this person.
Okay.
Hello. You better say that thing, Kelsey. You better say it. Baby, I'm all in agreement with it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm with you on that. But my whole thing is this. At what point do you let it go, though? Like one of our viewers is saying, what point do you let it go? Because I get with. But hold on, before you answer that question, okay. I know you better jump in there. But now, to me, it seems as though sometimes we try to, we want more for them than they want for themselves.
Right.
So we sitting there, we crying and we praying and we fasting and we, trying to find treatments or everything for this person, but this person isn't showing that they actually want it, because I believe they have to actually want it.
True. They have to want it. No matter how much you pray, how much you do anything, they have to want it for themselves.
Right.
Excuse me. But there are some things that you can do. There are boundaries and barriers that you can put up within yourself, not to allow them to just have a free run. You don't have to give them money. You can just be that place they go to when they get tired to come take a shower, come take a bath. Or you can just be that person that drives up and say, you still living and I'm still praying for you. There's certain ways to go about it. You don't have to be, and you can to not be an enabler. Sometimes, now everybody is different. Of course, some people need all their resources to go away and they need to fall to the bottom in order to reach up and get help. Some people just need to know that there's somebody out there that cares for them. So you have to really be invested in knowing what the issues are that person has going on. A lot of people are using drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever it is to cope with stuff that they're dealing with.
That's right.
Okay.
And a lot of times, people, use drugs and alcohol and whatever have you, because a lot of times they're running from themselves. Right. They're running from themselves because they're dealing with so many issues that they don't even know how to deal. So they feel like if they suffocate, what they have going on, that, that they'll be able to better cope, not knowing that when that's just like, putting soot over top of, a fire. Of course, you're putting the fire out or whatever, but if you move the soot all over again, the fire is right back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I said that to say this right here, when you have an individual, that has access to everything, they can destroy themselves faster than a person that's running to get that high.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
So my other question to you guys is, what about tough love? Like, what about tough love, and what do you consider tough love? Because everybody has their own variation of what something is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for you, Kelsey, like in one of your relationships or situationships or whatever, what was something that you showed tough love to, or how did you show tough love?
It was, I think my tough love was actually setting the standard.
Mm-hmm.
For one of the individuals that I did date, I thought it was other women. And I was with this person for real. And I didn't know it was drugs. I thought it was other women. I just really thought it was other women. So, just going through the whole motions of it being that, and then to find out that it was drugs was a rough part for me, because I was totally invested in this individual. So then when it did come out it was drugs, I was like, oh Lord, I was stuck in, do I stay in this situation? Do I walk away? Because if I stay in the situation, then now I have to hear, well, you knew this what my issue was. So I did stay in it for a long time, and it got gradually worse. I did not know to the back end of the story, like some years passing, that it was getting gradually worse, because this individual was looking like, I finally found the person that I really want to be with, and I can't do nothing for them.
What you mean by that?
Because they already had a background, they already had a history, they was a felony, they didn't have a good job. I, at the time, had 4 little kids, and, I was doing my thing. Mm-hmm. And here they was coming in, and they was like, this person that I really, really love, but I can't do nothing for them. I can't even buy them shoes. I can't do anything for them. So it sucked them in a deeper depression, because they're looking like, self-guilt. I've already made a mess of my life. And here it is, I found somebody that I want to get a world to, and I can't do nothing for them. Mm-hmm. So it took them deeper. So I had to just, it was taking a hold of me, because my whole life began revolved around trying to save this individual. And ultimately it didn't save them. They ended up going to jail. When they did end up coming out of jail, it was still the same thing. I'm still thinking it's other women. Right. They were using other women to mask the fact that they still felt a certain type of way. And it wasn't until we had a conversation that they was like, I've been dealing with a lot of hurt. I don't feel worthy. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I need to be loved. Everything I've ever got in my life has always been bad. Mm-hmm. So I never thought that, I self-sabotaged, because at the end of the day, I knew that nobody would stand here and deal with me in this capacity. And they did a lot of stuff, to mask it, like, and it's so crazy. And we joke about it every single time. And I just talked to them the other day and joke about it, because when they did come home, they did the regular stuff, jumping in females' inboxes and trying to see this person, trying to see that person, do all that. He was like, at the end of the day, that was just the mask of it. It was just because at the end of the day, he was like, I'm just going to self-sabotage. I knew what you wasn't going to take and what you weren't going to deal with. So I just did stuff to self-sabotage. When we end up having a conversation, he was like, let's be realistic. You got to have money to play with women out here. I ain't got no damn money.
Right.
And if there's anything that would take me away from you.
Wow, I gotta stop there, because some of them, you ain't got to have $40.
He was like, and anything, the only thing, he's like, I honestly say the only thing that would take me away from you is drugs. Mm-hmm. But it took me to saying to him, look, I'm here. I done been down this road with you so long. We are years in this. I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. This is my purpose. This is where I'm at. All I need for you to do is put the best foot forward, for him to actually release a lot of stuff that he had never even shared. And we was going on every bit of 7-8 years of being together. To hear him talk about childhood stuff, to hear him to ever say, I spiraled out of control, I couldn't do nothing for you. Because I couldn't be the man that needed me.
But let me interject there. Now, do you think that could have been an excuse though? Because, like, say for one of those times where he was out doing himself, right? Mm-hmm. And say for instance, he was out and you wanted him to come back home and he wouldn't come home, or you wouldn't look for him, or whatever the situation was, right? And he said, well, you know what? I ain't coming home because I can't do nothing for you.
It was never that.
It was never that.
It was never that.
So you believe, I think, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that you think that you can really love them out of their addiction?
I didn't say you can really love them. It is their choice, but that goes with knowing who you're dealing with and knowing what you saw. See, when I met him, he was not in that situation. Okay. When I met him, he wasn't doing drugs. So he had a job. He was doing, in the process of losing his job and not being able to get another one is when the downhill spiral came. When I met him, it was Gucci. It was what it was. And we were so much friends that the conversations that we had were far beyond just that. You know what I'm saying? It was never an aspect where I said, oh, I'm coming to get you from where you at, and now this is where I want to be.
Right.
There was never that. I even remember nights when he was trying to come home, and I was so fed up of what he had going on that I was like, no, you stay where you at. So I don't think, I'm not saying that, ultimately it ultimately has to be his choice.
Correct.
But I am saying that sometimes you have to get to the root of the problem. See, we overlook that.
That's right.
We overlook what are they using it for? And when you start going to that, I think that's where you open up a conversation and open up a door to be able to find out how to best suit that individual.
Right, but the whole before you get in, I know you trying to slam dunk it right quick, but I get all of what you're saying, Kelsey. Like God knows I do, but I just feel like things that we can control, we control them, right? And I think if they have a deep-rooted issue, more than just surface, I think that's for them and for the professionals to handle, because I think a lot of times people may try to get themselves clean, especially the first couple of times, behind their love for you or trying to satisfy you. But ultimately, that taste is still in their mouth, right?
An addict will always be an addict. It just determines what they supply with.
You need to be a counselor.
And when you said that, you said about counseling, you got to realize, and we really got to talk about this. Mm-hmm. Black people are not we're not taking our kids to counseling. We're not taking our men to counseling. We're not taking those people to counseling. The other races, they're going to counseling. They have insurance to send them to rehab programs and do all of this. Our Black people's rehab programs is the penitentiary.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. And it is more drugs in there than it is out here.
And it is.
As a former officer, I can say that. So you got to realize we got to take, and I'm just an advocate at the end of the day, we got to take this control ourselves. That's right. We got to stand in the gap and be able to be that individual for ourselves, because we don't have no better force to send our people to.
We don't.
We're not teaching our men to go to counseling and to talk about their feelings. So when you with somebody, that's where we come in. That's where we come in as a community, as people, to stop looking. You think that, not being funny, but you think that the people that stand in front of Exxon want to be standing there?
I think some of them do. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Not saying like those who have an addiction, but those who like are homeless. Because I've talked to several homeless people, and some of them, they lost their way for whatever reason, but they choose not to go and get a job. They choose not to do this because it's too much going on, versus with them, they already know they can go ahead, they can panhandle, and they can get them a couple of dollars. They don't have to worry about a whole lot of responsibility.
I don't think that nobody that's standing in front of Exxon.
No, I'm not saying that they have an addiction.
They all have an addiction. That's why they out there.
Oh, that, yeah.
That's why they out there.
And I mean, a lot of times, they're standing in front of Exxon because, first of all, what's the first step? Let them know what the first step is. A lot of times people are in, have addiction and dealing with certain things. When you're in a situation and you don't know how to come out that situation, tell me what the first step is to get free from whatever I'm dealing with. Tell me how to do that.
Right. They don't have nobody telling them.
They don't know how.
They don't know how.
It's a such thing of not knowing how. Even when, you go to counseling or whatever the case may be, yeah, true, you teach me these things, but the real tests come in when I get back around it.
Right, exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they still don't know how.
But that goes back to what I'm saying. They still have to make a conscious decision.
That's true.
A choice to do either go right
or left.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just like those who are repeat offenders keep coming back and forth. And you may have experienced this because you're a prior correction officer. Come back and forth in prison. Because guess what? Because they know that they got a 3 hots in a cot.
I don't look at it like that.
So what? Let me break it down to you from some people that I have spoken with. When it's time for them to go home, they begin to get nervous.
Yeah.
They get anxious. They like, because guess when I get out there, it's the real world. When I get out there, I gotta pay bills. I gotta find somewhere to stay.
But
it's at the third. Well, when they're in there, they already know what time count time, what time they're eating, what time.
It's not the being there.
but-
It's the discipline. It's the structure that the penitentiary gives them. It's not wanting to be there because they don't have the response. It's the structure. I can tell you, and speaking on my personal thing, coming out. You got to realize these people are coming out. They, for one, have not had no counseling to the degree of whatever it is that they dealing with inside. They ripped off all the street.
Mm-hmm.
They detox in a jail that is not giving them the adequate. They not giving you mental health in jail. They're not doing none of that to you. They keep you in there. Then they still doing drugs while they in there. Then they coming out here with the same ailments. They not getting no job training. Unless a man is coming out here with a powerful support system.
That's what it is. It's a support system.
The support system,
right.
and
it's a support system.
Wanting, like, feeling like they worth it. You got to realize you got guys coming out here that spend half of their life in jail. They can't even conceive. You got grown men who've never had their own apartment. You got grown men who've never even bought their own anything.
Right.
So now they're in their 40s and they're expected, like I said on the post, they're expected to be these loving fathers and these loving. They don't even know. They still that crying little boy in the inside.
Right. Like I said, they don't know how, because guess what? They've never done it.
Right.
I mean, if you've never done something, you need to know how to do it.
How to do it.
You know?
How to do it.
So that's just what
it's
is.
all about, like, and don't get me wrong, everything in life, you got a chance and a choice with everything.
That's right.
But
you
some people don't see their
choice.
chances, some people don't see their choices. And everybody can always say, oh, you should do this and you should do that, but you don't know what a person's mental capacity is.
That's right.
And why they chose it to be that at that time.
That's right.
I can say, oh, this person should do this person should do that. I don't know what they was dealing with. I don't know what they was thinking. I don't know what their past, their traumas or whatever it is that they have going on, which allowed them. I tell my kids this all the time. Y'all may not like the decisions that I give you, or y'all may not like the punishment that I give you, but I'm gonna explain why I chose that.
That's right.
So that you know why that I did it. Now, you may never agree, but you'll understand what mindset I'm coming from. And I think with people, it's all about an understanding. You have to be able to have understanding. Everybody that does drugs is not a bad person. Everybody that has some type of ailments are not bad people. You have to be able to see past people's faults or past people's things in order to understand.
Because
you imagine the people walking around thinking that everybody got their nose turned up because they have a vice.
Yeah, because they made a choice for themselves. That's right.
Right. I'm not saying I don't want nobody to take anything away from this episode saying that I'm condemning anybody. But what I'm saying is it's always two or three sides. And I'm always gonna dig a little deeper.
Right, as you should.
Than just polishing things up. But you said something when you said about support, him coming out, and even women too, coming out having support. Like, at what level do you stop the support?
But support doesn't have to be financial.
No, I'm not saying, I ain't saying non-support. I'm saying not like child support, but support meaning like when do you stop accepting their calls? Because that's a form of support. When do you stop sending money?
Never.
When do you stop saying, you know what? It's time for you to get it right. And until you get it right.
For me, money was I'm not about to I'm not about to financial habit. But as far as support, as far as being there to uplift them and say, you don't have to do this, as far as when they decided that night they wanted to come home and take a bath or take a shower, my doors was open. As far as trying to create bonds in their life where those bonds was broken, let them feel like they want to live for something, do that. Like, as far as those type of supports, like, I'm all game. Financial support, we ain't about to do all that. Like, cause I don't got it. You're gonna have to tell somebody grocery store open or do something to finance your own habit. I'm not about to do that. But as far as like upbuilding and making them feel like they worth something, or just not judging them, or standing beside them when the world's looking at them crazy, or showing that I be strong enough to stand beside regardless of what's said, like, that support is never gonna go away.
Never.
So that's always gonna be a given with you. Like, they can. Okay, now I get in like whenever you say encouraging them and all of that, and stroking their ego, making sure that they are that you build them up as much as you can on every leaning side. Right. But at the end of the day, they still have to know and feel it for themselves, right?
That's right.
If you tell them the whole time, you know what, you look good, make sure you keep your hair cut, make sure you keep your clothes on. Stuff like that, just encouraging them or or sending them even a text or something saying, a job opening at McDonald's this week. It's like certain stuff. I just feel like at some point when you've been going bout for bout with this person and you have a history with this person.
Okay. Well, let me say this.
Just met and say, oh, they got addiction. Let me help them.
Well, let me run something down to you real quick. So in my situation, when I had said earlier about, a person that has access to everything can destroy themselves quicker than a person that's out here that has access to nothing. In my situation, I did deal with a person, that sold drugs. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wow. Not only did he sell drugs, it was a drug of choice that he sold because that was what he preferred. But let me say this, the money came in. It was money on top of money on top of money on top of money. But as the addiction got bigger, the money got bigger. Yeah. But on the downside of that, the money got bigger, the addiction got bigger, the money got smaller. So therefore, the addiction overpowered the money. Yeah. So as time, progressed, and time progressed, it spiraled out of control. You didn't have no control anymore over your situation.
Yeah, he was already an addict.
Already an addict at that time. So boom, you get locked up, been locked up or whatever. But as you're locked up, my position and my role is, I thank God that God saved him.
Spared you, yeah, exactly.
Because one more hit or whatever, I believe that the person would probably be gone or whatever the case may be. But my role in the situation is not only do I support, but guess what? He supports me too. He gives me knowledge of things and break things down for me that I don't understand. So it's always about knowledge of self. And not only that, it's also to being vulnerable in your situation.
Right.
Once you become vulnerable in your situation and realize what you have going on in your situation, you are a better person, not only to yourself, but the people around you.
Right.
So it's not always, because I'm on drugs that, that I'm
some smart people.
Right. They are,
They are very smart people. To piggyback on what you said.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people might look at my friend and be like, well, how is she with him? And he's this and he's that. And he's from a little country old town. But in all the men that I have dated, I have learned more from this guy that I've learned from anybody else. I'm talking about, we can talk about spiritual, we can talk about politics, and nobody would never know that, because of course that's a side God wanted me to see.
That's right.
That's the side he wanted me to see. So that's why I say you can't always just look at these people and feel like they just out here without no women. You gotta really engage and try to understand these men in particular. Even women, they are dealing with some deep rooted issues.
Yes.
Imagine, just throw off your head. Imagine, I thank God, and I told somebody else the other day, when I look at people that have ailments, or people that have been raped, or the people that have been molested, or the people with their parents, only thing I can do is just thank God that I didn't have those situations, because I don't know what I would do or how I would be if I had to go through this. So the only thing, instead of condemning people, I guess that's why I just have an empathetic heart from people. I grew up with my own childhood traumas, but not people that I've met over the years, and they start saying that they've been molested or sexually abused, or their parents was on drugs, or I just thank God that I didn't have to go through that. So to ever look at somebody and feel like, even if they spiraling out of control, that, it's just because they want to.
No,
you do not know what traumatizes the person when they buy themselves and they lay down.
That's right.
I get it. I mean, I get it. I get it. And I definitely, a word that you said is very strong to me, empathetic. But to feel empathy for somebody.
That's right.
Right.
I think that says a lot of who you are. And I'm speaking on you right now because you've dealt with several people who have had, addictions or whatever. But I have to be honest with you, and being that we are unapologetic and unfiltered, do you think that's what drives you? Is that you attracted to them? I got to have me. No, I don't want him. Don't give me him.
No, because I didn't. None of these individuals that I dated, could you look right at them and tell that that's what the issues were?
Perfect. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like she said, one, he probably wouldn't even say he's an addict, but he used to sell drugs. So with that, I didn't find out till way after we weren't dealing together anymore that, he used to dibble and dabble. So I can't say that I just looked at him and said, oh, this is what. One was a blue collar worker. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that I just looked at him and I said, okay, but I I do believe that God puts you in people's life for a reason in the season.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was something about what I could bring to that table. And I say in the same aspect now, I'm with the guy that I'm with now because God prepared me to deal with this because of the people that he brought me for before him.
That's right.
I believe
you know what I'm saying. So I can stand with him and look at it because I've already been. He's already showed me the stuff that I needed. So I can't. I don't think I have. I think the empathy in me, or God just allowed me to be these people because it was something they needed from me. And I'm a firm believer that you pass by people for a reason. There's a reason why you contact with people. Mm-hmm. It's a mission behind it. Like, because everything we hear already predestined. What we're gonna be and what our life is gonna be is already mapped out for us. Sometimes we deviate off course by moving left and right, but it's already predetermined what it is. So I think the empathy that I have has allowed me to touch or interact with these people for a reason.
And you really believe that, huh?
I really believe that.
Well, I mean, shit. You believe
I really believe that.
Stand on that. I ain't trying
I really believe that.
I'm definitely not judging, and I'm not trying to change your mind on it. Because
there's nobody
who can. That's what it is.
There's nobody that can say that they came across paths with me and that they didn't get an empathetic heart, or that I was not forthcoming to help, or that I was, only thing people can say if you come across them little four walkers, then I'm gonna be a little nasty because they my life. But other than that, as far as a person, nobody out here can tell you that I came across them in any type of rude type of way. If anybody ever needed me, like I'm the first person, if I see somebody dealing with something, I'm trying to rush in and do what I can to make them comfortable and make them feel right. So I feel like, and to me, that's how the world should be. Like, we should be more concerned about people's feelings than not be concerned about it.
But now, do you, I just hate to sound like I'm the bad cop tonight, but shit, I gotta do what I gotta do. Because somebody may be feeling the same way that I feel. Right. But I will say this. No, I have never been an addict. However, I can only speak from a child of a recovering addict, right? Mm-hmm. And with that being said, do you has it ever been a situation where you felt like you had to hide it from your kids, or it stretched you so thin to where it was your kids or them?
I've never been in a situation with anybody who put my kids in that type of situation where it was something that I had to cover from them. But you got to understand, if we, you want to be technical, they already had saw the effects of drug use. Okay. You see what I'm saying? If you want to be technical about it, they had already saw it. And I don't teach my kids to look at anybody different than that. Like, I don't teach them to judge anybody. Like, this is a sickness. This is a disease. It's past a choice. Yeah. So when you see that person, they don't need you judging them. They don't need you looking at them a certain way. I've always been, if you can't offer no good, don't offer nothing at all. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And so they have always been, they have a lot of empathy in them in themselves too, because that's just how I am, and that's how I raised them, to be concerned about your brother. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, be concerned about your fellow man. If you call that person your friend, you got to be concerned about them. Yes, right. You got to show them that. So don't judge anybody, because you never know. Like, I struggle with my boys now. It's legal in Virginia, right? But they smoke. So I tell them, "Oh, slow down." Because do you think that every crackhead out here, every heroin addiction, do you think that started with that? They did. That's right. It took one catastrophic thing in their life that they could not recover from, they needed to numb that pain. Yeah. So if you smoking every single day and you can't go to work without smoking, God forbid, knock on wood, I go from here, you're gonna be like Ben Stokes in front of the store. And they say, "Ma, it's not funny," but I'm for real. Because they didn't start out like that. They would use that to cope with something that they had no control over. Right. And then, a lot of times, people get addicted because they're, searching for that first initial high, and they'll never be able to get that back. Right. And that's why so many people are addicted, because of that first initial high. That's why they chase, trying to get their first initial high, but they'll never get that. And some of these drugs, like, I studied criminal justice, and like you say, psychology was always my thing. You can't get a person to change nothing until you change their mentality. Until you change the way they think. You cannot get them to, you can't get them to see anything else. You have to start with the mind. That's right. Of course. And so we not tapping into that person's mind. If you're not taking the time to tap in their mind and at least allow them another option to think, you have lost them. That's right. Because you don't even know what they're thinking. Right. Right. I get that. But this is the thing. Do you think, is that something that when you're involved with someone, right, in your past relationship or recent relationship or whatever, is that something that you try to look at the mind and try to figure out why? Because I'm like, I just think there's just too much
too much
No,
energy. Like it's too much. Like I'm
It's too
with
much
you.
to process.
Yes, I love you, but I just
But
can't
see,
see
these are the
myself diagnosing you.
no, it don't be a diagnosis. See, all of my
it's
relationships
too
come.
much.
All of my relationships come from a friendship. They're not, I dated you, I saw you, and we about to be just getting on. My relationships come that we were friends. We sat nights and we talked about everything. You shared some stuff with me, I shared some stuff with you. Like, I'm a deep person on that type of level. I'm not a, if I need to know your mama's name. You know what I'm saying? I want to know, understand I want to know what hurts you. I want to know what your fears are. I want to know what your goals are. I don't care about what you look like out on the street. I want it's going to be personal between us. Okay. We're going to have some real conversations. I'm going to let you know what I'm scared of. I'm going to let you know what I heard about. So I think for me, going in a relationship is a total lot different because I'm not just like, I want to be, if I'm looking at these people as my potential soulmate or somebody who I'm going to be in a relationship with, I want to be able to see right through you. I want you to be able to see right through me. So I'm going to give you my naked. I'm going to give you my sour. I'm going to give you everything that's bad. So I have those type of relationships with people where we have those type of conversations. And I think that like I said, love has to see a person in all capacities. So if you're in a relationship and you don't know what your mate's fear is, how do you help them?
That's right. That's true.
If you're in a relationship and you don't know what their goals is, if you're in a relationship and you don't know,
turn our mics up, y'all,
and you don't know what that man, you don't know what that man, what hurts him,
right?
Like, how
basically what you're saying, from what I'm gathering, is that if you don't know what makes that person tick, then why you would
tick, or what is it they love, or what is it they joy? Right. What you like? Those are the conversations you got to have when you in a relationship, because that's better to understand that person.
So now I got a question for you. One of our viewers said, "Has anyone ever stole anything from you?" Because I know, like.
Now see, hold on, man. No, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn minute. Now I won't with those type of addicts. Hold on now. Wait a minute. No, I ain't gonna say. I haven't. I won't. All my TVs always been in my house.
Right.
I ain't come home. The cars won't go. Wait a damn minute. No, I ain't been with those.
Those.
Yeah, well, I have not been with an addict that was in that capacity of the guy. They may have did some other stuff, like didn't tell me their paycheck was $300 and it was more than that, so they held on to a little bit of money.
Right.
But I can't.
So you've been with like functional addicts.
Yeah.
They went to work and they did or whatever, but the respect.
Now I ain't gonna say he ain't stole. He just ain't never stolen from me. You know what I'm saying? Right. I ain't gonna say he has never, I haven't been with addicts that haven't stolen anything. They just haven't stolen from me. They might have went to, did it from my, but I came home to all my TVs in the house.
I believe it, because you like you don't play.
You like somebody else, boy.
I ain't getting you no money. I'm going on.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say that they didn't steal. It's just, I guess it was just the respect that I ain't had to come home to them.
All right. So now I gotta switch gears a little bit, because I need to know. I don't need to know, but I want to know. Like, if the person isn't, you're dealing with somebody and they have an addiction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is it, like, far as the sex? Like, do you withhold sex because they have an addiction?
There isn't any. There's barely any.
Right.
Why?
There isn't any.
But you love them and you don't want them to go anywhere else. Let me tell you
something. It's a little deeper for me. Sex don't have. Let me tell you something. Just because you're in a relationship with people, yes, sex is important. Yes, it is. It's very important in a relationship. But when you're dealing with a person that's on drugs or whatever the case may be, there is no sex. It might be a little bit here or there.
Because they don't want to have sex, or you don't want
because they don't want to have sex. It's not so much of.
I know you lying.
Yeah.
No, we not.
What the heck?
Yeah, I mean, it's the
truth. Chasing, when they get to the point, and they're at the point where they engulfed in there, and I'm transparent.
It's true.
I am very transparent. So when they get to the point that they getting high and stuff, you gonna think that that's why I say it's gonna take a condensation on that they cheating, because they don't want to have sex all the time, because they have. It's not gonna get hard. It's not gonna stay hard. It's not gonna do all of that. So it'll take you to think that they cheating, and in all reality, they getting high. Like, those are one of the telltale signs.
And then again, you might find one, that's out there in the street, and they probably with another woman, but they with the woman that's doing the same thing they doing, because it makes them feel like it's okay to do this.
It's comfortable. Now, I will say this. when you dealing with a person that individual or your mate that's getting high, it's two of y'all.
What you mean?
It's two of y'all.
Yes, it
It's
is.
you and it's you that's going to be the person that won't accept them getting high around you, that won't accept them doing that type of stuff around you. So it's going to be you, and then it's going to be the other female that they can snort that powder or smoke that crack or do whatever they're going to be around them.
Yeah.
It's two of y'all.
Yeah.
It's always going to be two of y'all.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I got to ask y'all something. Right? And like I said, I have to keep saying this. We are definitely,
Girl, you ain't gotta do all that. Come on.
Come on.
You ain't gotta do
Well,
all
you know
that.
what?
Come on.
Y'all have thick skin, and I love it.
Yeah,
But,
because
okay, now,
it's not that
y'all
serious.
dating these people with this addiction, right? Whether it was once or twice, right?
Once for me.
Whether you
Yeah.
a misdemeanor or you're a felon,
Right.
whatever, right? And you see that this person is addicted to this, right? Has it ever been a time where you like, you know what? Let me try it and see.
I wouldn't.
Why the hell they still?
Baby, let me just tell you this.
No,
I would
ma'am.
die. I would die right where I
would be the
stood.
one.
I would have a heart attack and just
took that
die.
one. See, my thing has always
No.
been I would be the one that took that one little hit, and now I'm standing in front of Tim.
yeah,
So
I
my
believe
mind
that.
ain't
I
came
believe
back.
that.
Well, guess what? I wouldn't even had a chance to stand in front of
You know what I'm
nobody. Because guess what? I'd have been standing in front of God.
You know what I'm saying? So no, it's never been. And then when you're dealing with somebody that you actually see going through what they're going through,
Yeah.
it does deter you away from it. Like it was a long time I wouldn't even drink or smoke weed. Like because, like I said, I've dealt with. When I say addicts, they're not all have been drugs. I've dealt with alcoholics. I've dealt with sexaholics. So when you see them dealing with this and you see them using it as they coping, it makes you. A long time I wouldn't drink or even smoke weed because I was like if this is stuff it take you through, I don't want no parts.
And
of
you
it.
seeing the addictive behavior on everybody else.
Yeah, you can see it. So, like I said, it's everybody has their vices. Everybody has that thing that you know what I'm saying. That tastes cold. Mine's is Newports at this present moment because if I don't get one, I'm going ham. And I'm just letting y'all know.
I don't understand how you smoke Newports because you talk like a mile a minute. I thought I speak fast, but you speak faster than me.
I
like
smoke
you
Newports.
do not breathe at all.
I do. So, like I said, everybody has their vices, and people just need to be more concerned on why they're using this to cope. Even if you want to take it to sexaholics, like men always cheating and women always cheating. They doing it for a reason. That 10, 20, 15 minutes of pleasure is soothing something for them.
Jolie.
You get what I'm saying? It's not that they just don't care or they just he just a dog. No. You better be more concerned on why he cheating than just saying the fact that he is cheating because he's dealing with something.
I don't know. I just think at this point I thought I was deep, but you're deeper than me.
People are dealing with stuff and they're using everything. When I get ready to chop them kids' heads off, I could blow through a pack of cigarettes a day.
But let me
That's my coping.
Let me ask you this. Now, I don't know. I've always heard this. They were saying, especially if a guy is on heroin or something like that or whatever, right? They always say they have like that sick pee-pee, right? I can't say the word. DD. No, ding ding.
Whatever, you talking about penis?
Mm-hmm. So do y'all believe that? Like they said, like it's addictive. Meaning,
I think that's heroin. I think that's what people snort cocaine.
Yeah.
Okay, but then
yeah, I think it's
whatever.
Yeah, I think that I've heard that when they snort powder or whatever, it's they can last a long time. I can't say I can know, but a heroin addict ain't doing nothing when he get high.
Okay, so I had it wrong.
He not doing nothing but sitting in the corner looking stupid.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, the dope.
You're absolutely correct.
Okay, he ain't doing nothing but looking stupid. He can't even hold his head up.
But now, but don't you feel as though that their mate, whether they're with, if it's a male or female, that they have to be a strong person to stand beside that person, knowing that like far as like
Listen.
in the area, like okay, she messing with him and he getting high. Like I think you have to be a strong individual to stand beside somebody like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's strong as you got to have faith of a higher power.
Yeah, you do. Because basically it's like you on Dorothy on the Wizard of Oz. You got everything going on around you like you in a whirlwind. The only person that's there is you and God.
It's you and God.
Lord,
you have to have,
Lord, just protect me.
I don't
from
think
whatever's
a person
going on
without
around
faith Right. I don't think a person without faith can actually deal with a
But-
person who is an addict
Yeah.
and do anything for them.
Yeah.
Because you have to believe what is the faith of the substance of things,
Hopeful
hopeful
and
and
evidence of
everything
things
that
not
seems.
seen.
So you have to
Right.
believe it in your mind that God will deliver this person, and
That's
then
right.
you have to pray for that, and you have to stand on that word. So I think, if you don't have a spiritual background, it is hard to deal with in
It
that,
is.
because you're gonna need something other than you.
You ain't never lied.
Because when it gets bad, you know what I'm saying? When it gets bad,
bad.
it gets bad. And you're gonna need something other than yourself. Like, you're not gonna be able to battle that. I'm talking about, it can get bad. You know what I'm saying? Gone 3-4 days, can't see him, ain't took a bath, ain't, you know what I'm saying? It can get bad.
Well, that's when you're hitting rock bottom then.
Right.
When you going 2 and 3 days without no clothes on and you wearing the same thing, guess what? You done hit rock bottom at this point. Because I mean, nah, you hit rock bottom at this point, and your very next hit, you may subject to be out of here.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think, that you ladies and a lot of other females and males as well.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Now, hold on now.
Wait a minute. Let her finish first, Cassie.
Well, I gotta ask her a question.
Okay.
Hold on to
Okay.
that question. But I commend y'all because just listening to you ladies, like, and that's why I say, like, this is the purpose of Way to Get Men. And one of the purposes is that people can look at something different from that they looked at it before. And so I'm looking at it a little different now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could be in that position because of the type of person that I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I commend you ladies. Like, I really do. So keep pushing. But what's your question?
When you said earlier, as far as, like, did it have, being your parents being addicts, did it really, how did growing up with that, how did that?
What was the question?
She stated earlier, like, her parents, you know what I'm saying? She grew up with a parent that was addicts. As an individual, how did that feel?
Oh, okay.
To be transparent, one thing is that would be like another whole show, because that would be a perfect show.
Right.
But I can't sit here and say, I can only tell you my experience.
Right.
And a little bit of that would be some things I remember and some things I don't. I don't say that I blocked some things out. I wasn't one of those, but it was real. Like, your light stuff getting cut out, and people cutting them back on, and stuff like that. But it wasn't right. But I've never seen anybody use anything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I've never came in and seen, like, my lay on the floor and, exposed, anything like that. None of that. But that doesn't still take away what I went through and the hurt that I still experience today. I just knew that with my family on both sides, it's addictive behavior. So it's like certain things I'm not going to indulge in because I just, I had that, can easily lean over, just like you said about Mr. Stokes, whatever. But it was real. It was real, But we had, like, we had my grandmother, know. So, and I say my grandmother. I share this with you. I say my grandmother a lot of times, and that's why I say, like, you can want something for somebody more than they want for themselves.
That's right.
And they have to want it for themselves. So I know, like, they would go to rehab and then they would come home.
Right.
But at that point in their life, they wasn't ready.
Right.
So, it was like a lack of respect there for them, even though we never saw anything. But God changed all it around.
That's right.
To whereas we have the utmost respect for my mother,
Mm-hmm.
and I can say this and stand on it because she isn't ashamed of what she done.
That's right.
So it's just, yeah.
And just to piggyback, what I'm saying, off of what you're talking about, Travell, my mom, was on drugs also. You know what I'm saying? So, drugs in the street, she chose that, over her kids. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, it can put people, me in a position where, you just try to figure out like, well, why?
Right.
But it's right back to what I just said earlier. It's an addiction. Like they're chasing
Right.
something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, you know, they're not focused on what they need to focus on.
Right.
You know, so
And just to understand,
I ain't just
like
started,
both
you know what I'm
y'all,
saying, seeing this
you
stuff.
just understand
You know,
that they are an addict. It's not, and I say this, I keep saying it. The choice was to use the drug.
right?
To be addicted to is a whole different thing. And once you at that level, it is not a choice no more.
No, it's not, because the drug,
It's not a choice.
because it has taken over you. You know
Some
what
of
I'm
them
saying?
drugs,
Yeah,
you have to have them.
yeah. And heroin is definitely one of them.
Some of them you have
heroin
to
is
have
definitely
them.
one
You
of them.
cannot walk away from that if you don't have it in the morning. Your whole body, some of them is not a habit. So it's being an addict is not a choice. Now walking away from it and deciding that you want better is a choice. So it doesn't leave them. But I just want people to understand that you can't say that an addict is just an addict because they choose to be that. No, it's far gone already.
Yeah.
And they need some type of understanding, care, and compassion, and just understanding, just to understand, can change a lot of things. Just I would say to everybody, just don't judge people out here. Take time to really figure out why they are that way and what they are doing. And like I put that post up the other day, it's kids out here.
Yeah.
There's children out here in their 20s and in their 25s. I'm a mama to my kids are knees in the dirt. Like you gotta save these kids. They're dealing with their own. Like I said, some people out here use them because of the failure that they feel for themselves.
Yeah.
Like they lived up, they thought that their world was gonna be different, and it's not that, and they just coping with it. So you gotta be more vested in why people are doing what they're doing and get an understanding than just saying, oh, you doing this and you doing that. Now figure out why.
Yeah.
Take time to understand why.
I definitely get that, but my thing I would mostly do is I wouldn't definitely try to diagnose them and try to figure out. I'll be a listening ear, yes,
of course,
but I would pray for them. Would be the best thing.
That's the only thing that you really could do at that point,
right,
you know, and getting encouraging words. So you know,
and just having those type of conversations with people.
So we're about to wrap it up, but before we wrap it up, so Ida, what did you learn from this episode tonight?
I wouldn't say that I really learned anything, but what I can say is that it is people out there that are relatable. So if I ever need, you know what I'm saying, someone to know what I'm going through, I know who to call.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, on your line.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
So other than that, I really haven't, you know what I'm saying, learned anything. It's just that I know for certain that I'm gonna stand on what I believe in.
Right, that's right.
You know, I'm gonna do what I feel like is right for me. I'm gonna make choices for me.
That's right.
You know, so regardless of what a person is saying or what they're saying in the background or whatever the case may be, it is what it is.
Right.
What about you, Kelsey?
With her, you know, with me, it's not about learning. I just wanted to make sure that people understood, you know, look past what you see and really try to understand. To me, life is about understanding. So I don't care what it looked like. I'm just trying to understand. Everybody want to figure out why this person was this person, why this person doing that. Get out of that. Get some understanding about it. For me, you know, I'm mouthy, so I don't care what y'all say about what I'm doing because I'm going to do it anyway.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, I'm built for it, you know, and we need to show people that we built for it. Because there's a lot of other, you know, I have conversations, like I just said, with other women who will have these conversations on the phone, but are not vocally out there ready to say that they dealt with a person that deals with this.
Right.
Why? Like, be unapologetically and unshameful at the end of the day. Like I said, everybody can't be the saints of the Bible. Some people got to be the, I mean, they have to, and God still saved them.
That's right.
That's right.
So
that's
y'all just call my line if y'all want to hit me up on Facebook. I don't have a problem, you know, explaining, reaching out, touching, helping somebody else.
And that's exactly what it's about. It's about helping somebody else and people being confident in who they are. And like I said, and again, I commend y'all, like, and everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not just singling y'all out because you may never know what this episode may have done for somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
and I'm pretty sure it's more people out there.
Yeah. Pretty sure they just, you know, worry about all society judging them.
Things.
Yeah. Society looking at them crazy.
But see, that type of person, to me anyway, already has issue all the way around because I'm not freaking worried about what anybody think.
Right.
Don't ever get that twisted. And I think when you do that, you're allowing them to have control over you.
That's right.
And you're not gonna have control. I mean, you walk in the same, put our pants on the same way.
That's right.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that. Well, with that being said, y'all about to wrap it up. But before we wrap it up, we always ask our guests, give us an encouraging word or something about Weight Again Minute. Like what you think about Weight Again Minute. And I want you to be unapologetically you, like you just said.
Yes, Miss Maldy.
Yeah, Miss Maldy.
It's I don't got no problem with it. I mean, it's a good show. It's a good podcast. I mean, y'all touching into real topics and, the versus, a little fun on this side. And then let's get into real topics that people are dealing with, the conversations that nobody wants to have, the cliche conversations. So just the balance of both of them is good.
Balanceable. So the best of both worlds.
The best of both worlds.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Paint, that's my girl. She be having me rolling.
You know what?
Like, no.
A lot of people.
No. But yeah, it's the best of both worlds. Being able to have a topic that's just laughing and joking, and then have a topic that really hits home, that maybe something that somebody's in their living room struggling with, that you have somebody talking about.
Right. That's
right. So you got any last words, Ida? I'm about to call you Pint.
No. I'm just, kind of glad I could be on with Kelsey, so she wouldn't be up here by herself. Just to let her know that
she's not alone. See, it lets you know right there to the right of you.
Right.
And you like you said, you can't judge somebody because you don't know somebody's story, and then you got to be carrying the same load. That's a different, different weight.
Yeah,
that's it. So with that being said, we're gonna get on up out of here. We thank you guys for tuning in, but most importantly, I want you guys to share. Stay tuned, y'all, because like I said today on my live, we have something very interesting coming up and exciting coming up. I haven't even told the ladies to Weight Again Minute yet. But just stay tuned, y'all. So with that being said, we're gonna end it with this song because I don't know what to tell y'all. But with that being said, y'all, we're gonna get out of here. Listen up, everybody, have you heard the news? We got a brand new show breaking all the rules. Started out from VA and now we on the move from local to global. Cause we got something to prove. We came from the bottom, now we at the tippy top. To hold it down for our people, cause we all we got. It's a cold world, but we keeping it hot. So Miss Pint on the mic next to Sheeta Rock. All work over here, still we having fun. Yeah, we say it like it is. Ain't no holding our tongues. Go get it on the scene and we getting it done. Shout out to Travell, yo, you number one. It started with a dream that turned into a vision. The educated new generations is our mission. Ears to the streets, yeah, we steady politics. It ain't about to change. Mind your business. Wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Wait again, minute. Wait again, minute. Wait again, minute. And that's a wrap.